there, I'm FullDeck.
And I'm missing a few cards.
As you can see, we're not BremSter, but we've really enjoyed BremSter's solves of our puzzles.
And so today we're going to solve one of Brem's.
And we're stepping very much out of our comfort zone as we do this, so please bear with us as we learn how this whole recording streams works.
Yes, it's been a challenge.
It has. But we do want to present to you Floodlights, which is a puzzle in full disclosure. We have solved this puzzle before. BremSter sent it to us for testing about 6 to 8 weeks ago. It's been a while. So it's not a fully blind solve, but we are bears of very little brain, and it's been a long time, and we've done a lot of things in between.
I didn't remember it was a fog puzzle.
Yeah, neither did I until we set it up for the recording. So it might as well be a blind solve. So here we are. Let's show you the puzzle, and we'll go through the rules. Called Floodlights by BremSter, and normal Sudoku rules apply. So that means that in every row, in every column, and in every 3x3 box, let's try that. Every 3x3 box, we need to have a complete set of the digits 1 through 9 without repetition.
Now, as you can see, the grid is covered with fog except for 5 cells in box 4. And if we place correct digits into cells, then that clears the fog from that cell and all 8 cells around it.
Yes. And we can't show you how that works because we don't know correct digits to place yet.
But hopefully we'll demonstrate it in a couple of minutes.
We certainly hope so. We also have Kropki Pairs in here, so cells separated by a black dot, and we do see one of those, have to be in a 1-to-2 ratio. So for example, we could have a 4 in the cell where you're currently seeing a green X, and on the other side of it we could have either a 2 or an 8. We could also have a 3-6 in either order, a 1-2 in either order, 2-4 in either order. We don't see any white dots at the moment, but according to the rules, we should have at least the potential of white dots in there. If there were a white dot, the digits on either side would need to be consecutive. So for example, if there were a white dot separating the 2 cells that are currently highlighted, we could have a 4 and a 5, we could have an 8 and a 9, any pair of digits that have a difference of 1 in either order. We're also told that not all dots are necessarily given, so we could have either a consecutive pair or a number and its double that appear next to each other without a dot between them.
On green German whisper lines, adjacent digits must have a difference of at least 5, and we'll discuss the implications of this in a couple of minutes.
Perfect. That's it for the rules. Shall we?
Let's give this a whirl.
All right, I'm going to restart the timer then. All right. So what we have to start with is this Green Whispers X.
Let's talk about green whispers.
Let's talk about green whispers.
So on green whispers, because the digits have to differ by at least 5, that means we can never put a 5 on a German whisper line because all of the digits differ by at most 4. 1 through 9 all differ by at most 4 from 5. Also, because a 1 needs at least 6 and a 9 needs at most 4, the digits have to alternate in high and low on going along the line.
And that's pretty powerful, especially for this cell. So this cell is adjacent. We can see the whisper line extending into the fog. So row 5, column 2 has to be adjacent to 4 digits that are at least 5 away. So for example, we couldn't put an 8 there because an 8 could go with a 1, 2, or 3, but not a 4. So there wouldn't be enough friends for this row 5, column 2 digit. So it's going to have to be either a 1 matching up with 6, 7, 8, and 9 in the corners of box 4, or a 9 matching up with 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the corners of box 4.
A 9 is not in a 2-to-1 ratio with any integer.
Exactly.
So that has to be a 1.
So this has to be a 1, and now we should get to see the fog mechanics work. Place the 1, it cleared a bunch.
Notice that if we were incorrect, try putting a 2 in there instead.
If I put a 2 in there instead, first of all, my fog goes away. And a 2, nothing happens, we were wrong. So that's how the fog mechanic works. But we do know this is a 1. And we also know that the only number that can be on the other side of a black Kropki dot from a 1 is a 2, because we have to have either a 2 or a 1/2, and 1/2, sadly, is not a valid Sudoku digit.
Now, I can see that the 2 whisper lines in column 3 are on Kropki dots. Well, that means they can't be 6 or 7, so those must, 7 or 9, so those must be a 6-8 pair.
Yes, and again, let's go ahead and color. This looks like it's going to benefit from coloring.
Okay.
So These two are both in what we'll call the low set, so they're below 5. And we tend to color those blue because they're coolish numbers. And then we tend to color the high digits red because they're warm. And so because the 1 is low, any digit that's adjacent to it on a whispers line will have to be high. And so now we know that these red digits are coming from 6, 7, 8, and 9. And as Missing said, we can't put a 7 or a 9 on a black Kropki dot because they don't have another number in the set of digits from 1 through 9 that they can pair with as a double or a half. So these are going to be from the pair of digits 6, 8.
And the ones adjacent to them have to be a 3, 4 pair.
Yes, and let's go ahead and get the 7, 9 in as well over
Yep.
here. So yeah, so on the other side of a 6, the only thing we can place is a 3, and on the other side of an 8 from a black Kropki dot, the only thing we can place is a 4. So we get a 3, 4 pair in the column. And notice that we can go ahead and center mark, corner mark, or even place digits in the fog.
And color.
And we can color them, that's
And
right.
maybe
Those
we
are going to
should.
be low, probably should.
Because now we can color the rest of that line.
Oh, that's right, this whisper line does extend into this box. I didn't even notice that. So yeah, so that means that because row 4, column 4, and row 6, column 4 are adjacent to low digits on a whisper, they have to be high digits, and in between them is going to be a low digit. And that's
Which low
interesting.
digit could it be?
Yeah, seriously, which low digit? So we know it's got to be from 1, 2, 3, or 4. 1 and 2 are taken up. If I were so foolish as to put a 4 here, I would need to put the only digit that's 5 away from a 4. I'd need to put a 9 in both row 4, column 4, and row 6, column 4. So 4 is not valid here. It's going to have to be a 3 in that cell, and we get a lot of other stuff opening up.
Oh, and a Kropki.
We have a white Kropki. Now we get to sort of show what the white Kropkis do. So the digit on the other side of the white Kropki dot from the 3 has to be adjacent to 3. So it could be 1 lower than 3 or 1 more than 3.
So 2 or 4.
It's 2 or 4. However, we have a 2 in the row, so this is going to have to be a 4. And I'm going to go ahead and color it blue because I think coloring will wind up being important for us.
Now we can color the middle row 5, column 6.
Ah, yes, because as previously noted, we can't have a 5 on a whisper line, and we have used up all 4 of our low digits, so this has to be a high digit, and that means that above and below it are low digits. And we already have a 3 and 4 in box 5, so this is going to have to form a 1, 2 pair.
Oh, that's going to give us some Kropki logic.
It is, because could that possibly be a 1 at row 6, column 6?
No,
Why not?
because it would have to have a 2 adjacent to it, which
Yeah.
would break row 4, column 6.
There, okay, so this will have to be a 2, which
a 3
places a
below it.
1 above it, yep, on the other half of that 1, 2 pair, and below it, adjacent to a 2, could be either a 1 or a 3. We've already used up the 1, that's going to be a 3.
Let's see what we can do in column 4 now.
Well, I was going to go back
Okay.
over here to column
Oh, yeah,
3
sure,
because
okay.
that
Yep.
3 cleans. Oh, we should turn off our pencil marks. We don't want conflict checking on because that's much less fun. So we're going to turn off the conflict checking because I'm not sure I would have noticed that otherwise.
Yeah.
So
Let's not notice that yet.
let's not notice
That was
then.
cheating.
Okay, fine.
So let's look at column 4 in box 5.
Column 4 in box 5, right here and right
That has
here.
to be an 8, 9 pair.
Tell us why, Missing.
Because the only digits that are 5 away from 3 are 8 and 9.
Excellent. Oh, and you know what? This looks like a similar kind of logic here.
Why
If that
didn't you
were a
explain it
9,
this
if this were a 9 in row 4, column 4, it needs something adjacent to it. The only digit adjacent to a 9 in the Sudoku world is an 8. We would have already used up our 8 in column 4. So this has to be an 8. That puts a 9 down here into row 6, column 4, and above the 8,
A 7.
a 7. And now this 8 cleans up our 6, 8 pair. We can place a 6 at row 4, column 3, and it pairs up with a 3 across the Kropki dot. And that'll place an 8 at row 6, column 3, and it pairs with a 4. We can also clean up this 9, gives us a 7 at row 6, column 1, and a 9 at row 4, column 1.
What's row 5, column 6?
Oh, I like row 3, column 1 better, because that's going to have to be an 8.
Okay.
And that's, now we can do, was it row 6, column 1 you want? No,
No.
it's row 5, column 6 you wanted to do?
Yeah, but do this one now.
All right, let's do this one because 7 has to go with 6 or 8. We've already used 8 in the column, so that's going to be a 6. And let's go ahead and do some coloring, if I can find the right button to be able to do that. All right, now where was it you wanted us to look?
Row 6. Sorry, row
6.
5, column
Row 5,
6.
column 6. This one right here. Okay.
It's got to be high. It can't be
Yes.
8 or 9, and 6 can't be adjacent to 2.
Ah, there we go. So that's a 7. It's actually a placed 7, not a center marked 7. A 7. Excellent.
Now where does 6 go in box 5?
Now where does 6 go? Well, can't go there. So this will be a 6, and this is going to have to be a 5.
And finally, you get 5 in the
Yeah. Often we wind up placing all of the 5s first, but not this time.
Not today.
All right, and 5s being halfway between blue and red. Well, actually, that doesn't look all that good on this grid. We're going to clear that out. All right. So now, what else do we have left to do?
The rest of the puzzle.
How very helpful of you. Yes. How about what's happening in box 4? Now you'll see as we solve that we have different tendencies with puzzles. I like to sort of center mark things once they get down to small amounts of digits left, and I like to clean up as I go, whereas Missing tends to see the whole board and look for logic at a distance. So he focuses on the forest and I focus on the trees, which is really nice in terms of playing to each other's strengths and shoring up each other's weaknesses.
She admires how I keep firing at the digits from a distance.
Attack, retreat. Okay, so what do we have left in this box to
Where
place?
does 3 and 4
3,
go in
4,
that
and
box?
5, and neither 3 nor 4 can go there. So that will be a 5, and this is going to be a 3, 4 pair. And that was helpful, and so those are low. All right, let's take a look at this. I think this looks fruitful. If we look at the rest of this row, we have 6, 8, and 9 to place, and we can't place the 6 on this Kropki dot. This is going to have to be an 8, 9 pair, leaving a 6 here in the fog. And sure enough, happiness.
Okay.
Now, these will have to be low on either side of that high digit.
So the black Kropkis in box 6 can't be a 3, 6 pair. They can't have an 8 on the inside. They must be 1, 2, 4, 8.
Yeah, in fact, there's going to have to be a 1, 2 pair and a 4, 8 pair since we can't use the 3, 6. So one of these will be a 1, 2 pair and one will be a 4, 8 pair.
So that row 6 has got to be 1, 4.
Yes, because an 8 and a 2 are both already in the row. So this one is either 1 or 4.
With a
So
2
below
or
it
an
is
8.
either 2 or 8.
And the other one is a 2, 4.
2 or a 4, yep, with either a 1 or an 8. Agreed.
Can we figure that out?
We may not be able to yet. We might be able to, though. But let's see. This now gives us a 2, 3, 4 triple in row 4. So we are left with a 7
And
in
we
the
can now
box,
place the 5.
which places a 5 here. Good. Excellent. I'm going to go ahead and color some lows. And, oh, these are now high. The whisper line is now extending out into those. This 2 can't go next to a 6. There's also a 6 in the row. So it will be either 7, 8, or 9 in row 7, column 7. We don't have any such restriction here. Oh, but you know what we do have? We have an 8 looking over at this 1, 8 pair. You were
Right.
asking how are we going to distinguish those? That'll be how we distinguish those. How about that? So that's a
perfect.
1, which means we have a 2 below it because, again, we have to have a 1, 2 pair and a 4, 8 pair. And that places a 4 and an 8. That's going to take 8 out of row 7, column 7. And let's go back up here and deal with this
So that's
cell.
a 6 or a 9.
It's a 6 or a 9.
And either of those would work with the 1.
Yes. Yes.
Where does 1 go in box 6?
Can I ask a different question first?
Sure.
What could that cell possibly be? We can take out the 2 and the 4.
Yep.
So the 1 is, it's another great question. Where can the 1 go? It's the only place for it left. It's there, and that's a 3. Neither of that does not resolve
But it resolves box
that.
5.
Does it resolve box 5? How does it resolve box 5 is already
Box 4,
resolved.
sorry.
Box 4. Box
You'll
4.
notice that I count well. I'm a mathematician. I use the wrong digits, but
Look at this. Column 1, we've used up all of our high digits. Everything that's left is low, which means that the cell adjacent to row 1, column 1, over here, row 2, column 2, is going to have to be high. I'm going to go ahead and color over here. I'm sure that we can do more with that. I just was intrigued by that possibility to start with. Where shall we go next?
We could pencil mark some things.
You could. I like the idea of pencil marking this. It can't be a 3-6 pair, and it can't have a 4 in it, so it's
it's a
going to have to
1-2.
be a 1-2 pair.
Which means it's low, and it must
That's low.
be... that's a 6 in column 4.
In column 4, you say is a 6. Tell
Because it
me
sees 7, 8,
why.
9.
Oh, in column 4, yes. Also, I can't count, and I get 4s and 6s backwards. So yes, this is a 6. It does have to be high. We see 7, 8, 9 in the column, so
Which
it
means
is a
it's
6.
next to a 1.
6, it can only go next to a 1 on a whispers line. And then this will have to be either 8 or 9. Because it sees 6 in the box and 7 in the column. All right. Now, this digit sees 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 8. So it is 5, 7, or 9.
So next to it is even, and it can't be a 4,
And it also can't be a 6.
So it's
So
an
it
8.
has to be an 8.
which gets rid of the 5.
Look, yeah. And both of these will be high. And now that means that 8 cannot go in row 9, or because of that 8 in row 7 in box 8. So we can now place our 8 at row 8, column 6. And let's see. We still need to place a 5, the 7, and the
I have a
9.
deduction.
Oh, you have a deduction? Please,
Yes, where does
please.
4 go in box 8? So where does it go in box 9? And which Kropki dot must it be on?
That was not a deduction, that was a series of questions. So let's see if we can follow that. So 4 in box 8 cannot go in this row. So that means that one of those two cells is a 4, which will place 4 in row 8 of box 9, but not in column 9 since there's already a 4 there. So there is a 4 on this Kropki dot. It'll have to be paired with either a 3 or a 5. So we will either have 5, 4 or 3, 4, because we have a 3 already placed in column 7 and a 5 already placed in column 8. That was nice. Very nice spotting. We can also place a 6 in box 9, roughly speaking. It's in one of those two cells because of the 6 in, I keep hitting the mic, that's going to sound horrible on the audio, on column 9.
We can place 7 in box 8.
Can we place 7 in box 8? Oh, cannot go there, cannot go there. That is in fact a 7. Oh, that's nice. That'll clean up the 7-9 pair here. Place a
Which
9,
cleans up the 8 9s.
which gives us a 6 in row 3, column 7, an 8 in row 5, column 7, and a 9 in row 5,
Now
column
we can
8.
place 6 in box 9.
Ah, yes. So the 6 in column 7 removes that as a possible place for the 6 and places 6 at row 9, column 8. And we now have another high digit there. This one is low. Let's see, that's high. What do we still need in box 8? We still need 4, 5, and 9. 9
is
cannot
placeable.
go there. 9 has to go in column 6 in box 8, which places the 4 and the 5. That was nice.
Yeah.
So, I always like Brem's puzzles. They're always just these nice flow of one step leads right into the next.
Now where does 5 go in box 7, approximately?
Approximately, it's going to go in row 8, but we can go ahead and place the 2 in row 7 and the 1 in row 7,
And
just
now we
from
can
simple
resolve
Sudoku.
the Kropki in box 9, because the 5 is in row 8.
And now the 5, yes, so there's a 5 here in box 7, which means that row 8, column 7 can no longer be a 5. It's a 4, and that places a 3 in row 8, column 8. So now we're down to a triple in box 9.
The 2 is placeable.
Okay, so we're missing 2, 5, and 7, and indeed the 2 cannot go in column 9. We already have a 2 in column 9, and that's going to give us a 5, 7 pair.
Which gives us a 5, 7 pair in column 7 in box 3.
Because we've got a 5, 7 in column 8 of box 6, and a 5, 7 in column 9 of box 9, which puts a 5, 7 pair in column 7 of box 3. We also have a pair left in the column in column 9. 3, 9 pair, I think?
Yep.
Okay.
And we can do something in column, in row 9 in box 7.
In row 9 in box 7. Row 9 in box 7. Ah,
579
this
triple.
9, yes, resolves that as a 7, which gives us a 5 and a 7, and the last digit we need for row
3.
9 is a 3. Our last low in box 7 is a 1. And then we have, what's left here, a 5-9 pair to complete box 7. Let's go back up and look at box 3 in this whisper line.
What about column 8? If we pencil mark it, we might get some deductions.
Okay, I was going to just go for the fun of the whisper line deduction, just because,
Sure.
rather than the center marking, just because it's fun. If this is low, if this is the 3, it needs either an 8 or a 9 on the adjacent digit, but we already have a 9 in the column. So if row 1, column 9 is a 3, then row 2, column 8 has to be an 8. If row 1, column 9 is high digit, a 9, we need a low digit next to it, a 1, 2, 3, or 4. We already have 1 and 3 in the column, so we would have either 2 or 4 at row 2, column 8.
Which are in fact the digits we're missing from the
They
column.
are indeed, and so we now can pencil mark the rest of those cells in box 3. Row 3, column 8 is either 2 or 4, but we have all 3 possibilities still alive for row 1, column 8.
What about column 3 and column 1? Sorry, column 4 and column 1.
I like column 4 first, maybe. It's a 1-2 pair. We've got all 4 of our high digits, the red digits. We've got our 5, and we've got the 3 and the 4 from the low. So these are 1, 2, and they are both low.
And when we put in the 2, 4 in column 1, we've locked the 2s into rows 1 and 2 in boxes 1 and 2.
Oh, very nice. So we have in box 1, the 2 is in either row 1 or row 2. It's the only place left for the 2s. If the 2 is in row 1 in box 1, then it's going to have to be in row 2 in box 2, because that'll be the only place left for the 2 in box 2. On the other hand, if the 2 is in row 2 in box 1, it's going to have to be in row 1 in box 2, because it'll be the only place left for the 2 in box 2. Either way, we've used up 2s in all of rows 1 and 2. So we can take the 2 out of rows 1 and 2 in box 3, and that's going to place the 2 at row 3, column 8. That was nice. Nice locked pair there. Nice X-wing, locking it out. Oh, I have a question for you. Where does 4 go in row 3?
Oh, you weren't going to ask me about 6 in box 1?
No, I'm going to ask
Okay.
you about 4 in row 3.
Where does 4 go in row 3? Not there.
Not there,
Not there.
because of the 4 on the column.
Yep. So there.
So there. So there.
Now, where does 6 go in box 1?
Where does 6 go in box 1? Okay, well, there's a 6 here, and also those digits are already all placed. There's a 6 there, taking it out of column 3. There's a 6 in row 3. So the 6 has to be in one of these 2 cells. But the 6 can't actually go at row 2, column 2, because it's on a whispers line. And a 6 on a whispers line can only go next to a 1, which isn't available to us. So row 1, column 2 is in fact a 6. That was nice. I liked that. So what's left here? This is either 7 or 9. Either of those still possible.
Where
Because
can 7 go in the box?
Where can 7 go in the box? Well, that's a good question, because 7 cannot go in column 3, cannot go in row 3. So, yep, that's a 7, which means that row 1, column 1 can no longer be a 4. It has to be a 2.
Which will resolve the 1, 2
Oh,
and
yes,
the 4,
nice.
8.
2, 1. Oh, the 4, 8 gets resolved. Excellent.
And
oh,
that'll
and that
resolve the
8
whisper.
gives us the 3 and the 9. Ooh, that opened up so many things. Look at that. 2 3s in the corner. So then we need a 5 and a 9 in this row. We need a 9 in 9,
There's a 5 in
because there's a
column
5 in column 5, which will place the 5 here. 5.
That'll resolve box 7.
The 5 looks down, gives us a 9 and a 5.
Place the 9 in box 1. This looks like it's just cleanup.
Well,
now.
yeah, I was just going to say we've got a pair of a 1 9 pair here, and the 1 here will give us a 9 in row 1 and a 1 in row 2. Yeah, it's all cleanup now. This is very nice. So we're left with a 5 6 in column 6, and the 6 in row 1 looks across, tells us that row 1 column 6 is a 5, and row 2 column 6 is the 6. The 5 cleans up this pair, and now we've only got a single digit left in each row. Shall we color first, just for fun, and get it all pretty colors before we complete the puzzle? And I ask as if you have a choice. I'm controlling the keyboard, so if we do another solve for Brem's channel, I'll make him control the keyboard. So let's
row 1 is an 8.
see. Are these both, one of them is high and one is low. This one has to be low because there's already 4 highs in the row, and this one is high. We are missing an 8, and below it a 3. And that is the solution to Floodlights by BremSter.
That was fun.
It really was. It was
Really
fun.
liked that
And I
puzzle.
did not remember a thing about that puzzle as we went into it.
Yep.
So, yeah. It was really fun. Thank you, Brem, for letting us solve this. We really enjoyed this. I hope that
this turns out
it
okay.
turns out okay. Hope the audio isn't too bad and that it is a usable video.